Oh, hi. Been a minute since I talked to y'all like this, hasn't it? Virtually speaking, face to face. But putting aside the fiction of the show for a moment, what fun is that? It doesn't matter necessarily whether or not I'm a chronologically displaced version of myself. Still some things that need to be said on my mind. As spring of the bad timeline in 2026 comes to a close and we approach summer, figured I'd do one of these little video blogs just to provide an update on what's coming up in the very near future of the channel, where my head is at least at this point in the space-time continuum, and what to look forward to. However, what spurred the creation of this blog in the first place is the notion of authenticity. So that's something at the very heart of the channel. I mean, it started with me just playing Mega Drive games, trying to be like, hey, like, to the furthest extent that is possible, I'm trying to show you, like, this is what it was actually like in the 90s, and to some extent the 80s, and trying to provide a time capsule of the experience, like, hey, you know, this is what it would have been like watching me play. There's no internet, no walkthroughs or guides, and no helps. Just me and that 16-bit console, just telling my story and figuring out how to beat stuff that I haven't beaten before, and also showing off playing the stuff that I have, just for the love of it. Because for a time I thought I was going for, like, I'm gonna defeat the entire physical collection, and I'm like, maybe I should just focus on the stuff from my actual childhood. A little bit narrower focus, because there's otherwise a lot. But as a bit bristled seeing comments on some other creators' videos, and that's not throwing shade at the creator themselves. They have a great channel, they're wonderful, they do an excellent job, it's very wholesome experience watching any of their videos, so they deserve the kudos, the positive feedback, the accolades, all that. But seeing comments about, like, oh, this is the most authentic retro media show on YouTube, like, oh, I can't believe there's somebody out here doing, you know, retro Let's Plays of this game. Okay, on one hand, maybe that falls on that person making the comments, like, hey, like, a casual search on the internet will lead you to plenty of Let's Plays of retro games. But at the same time, I'm also like, what do you think I've been trying to offer you for the last 2 years, yo? And that included live streaming, which I'm retired from, and that deserves its, like, an entire blog entry of itself, either in a video or another format. Intent, because it's a great segue to say that I'm going to be diversifying coming summer. YouTube does not deserve my full creative attention. I refuse to believe that YouTube's engineers are ignorant as to the changes they're making and how they negatively affect small channels. I call bullshit if they claim otherwise. Like, all the changes they've made to their algorithms and everything else continually hurts small channels and stops their ability to find their audience. Like, at this point, forget monetization. I'm just trying to find my audience, like the one I know is out there, and the one that, despite my channel's flaws and lack of quality in places, I know it deserves to have a bigger audience. But YouTube's system has been purposely rigged to punish and take away from those who are have-nots, and to give even more to those who already have everything they could ever need or want, and who already have massive audiences and are making truckloads of ad revenue. I'm not here for the money. I'm here for my own creativity and artistic expression, and to share something I think is worthwhile for the audience that is here and the others that I know are out there, just haven't found it yet. That said, one of my friends is dead on correct. Like, you are providing entertainment on YouTube, hopefully also being informative and providing food for thought, but mostly it is art and entertainment. And he's like, well, you should be compensated for that. Especially because whether I qualify for monetization or not, YouTube still runs ads on my videos, even the ones that don't have any copyright claims, which is bullshit. And it's like, well, if they're gonna do that anyway, yes, I do deserve a cut of it. But still, the crux of it is finding my audience. And I'm not leading YouTube, but YouTube, again, does not deserve my full creative attention, does not deserve all my time and energy. So, you know, those of you who only interact with me here, I am not disappearing, but I am diversifying and changing some other things about the channel. I don't want to spoil too much because it's very exciting and I'm really thrilled with the direction it's going to go. But don't want to spoil it. Just because I'm from the future doesn't mean I need to give away the past. That might go on a month at some point. But yeah, how much more authentic do you want me to get, though? Like, look, come on. Let me show you. Live. Now, you'll have to forgive the lack of overhead lighting. I am still a chronic migraine sufferer, and the lighting of my home out here in space reflects that. But to the extent that you can see that, I am sorry, some of it is very blurry. This light is effective, but only within a certain radius. I mean, it's mainly consoles, but when I get more into the weeds of vintage computer gaming, like, we're gonna see old school computers, and when I can visit an arcade, like, try to include that. So it's like, it's not just about consoles, but that is the main gist of it. But these are all hooked up and ready to go. You can't see it back there because it's pitch black, but there's a, I believe the model number is PS9U, no relation to the PlayStation family. Power distribution unit, there's also a composite switch box back there. So, these are all hooked up and ready to go, but they're not wasting any electricity because until I flip the switch on the PDU, which does also have a fuse, by the way, to protect everything plugged into it. Yeah, nothing draws power until I flick a switch back there and open up a circuit to the corresponding system. Except a few of the systems that have power bricks, I used to have them up there with little mini extension cords. That got to be a little precarious, so I just have them set off to the side, and I plug them into a power strip as needed. Woo, such an inconvenience. Actually, it's not that bad at all. So, just as a little example here, I want to play Sega Saturn. I pretty much always want to play Sega Saturn. All I do, I hit power 1, video 4, TV on, engage the Saturn. Wait for the TV to warm up. Boom, Saturn activated. Now, most of these systems are hooked up by a composite. That's just the least expensive and most accessible way I have. I know some of my friends in Europe will wrinkle their nose at me for this, but even with composite on these CRTs, looks fantastic. Wonderful color, saturation, it's very vivid, crisp, and beautiful. The TVs do a lot of heavy lifting. I know S-Video and RGB are superior, but it's really expensive, so unless somebody wants to finance that for me, I'm not going to try to figure out to get an RGB SCART rig running for recording and for gameplay, even for just private use. You know, none of my TVs accept SCART natively, that would have to be converted. Probably be better off running RGB components, you get almost as much quality. But, yeah, really expensive. And honestly, just not worth it for me. So, I'm happy with the way things are. For me, I know that's authentic. There are times, even if you are somebody that has a huge amount of disposable income, that sometimes emulation is still the best answer. Because there is some equipment that is just so obscure and so inaccessible that even rich people have trouble, you know, authentically, heavy air quotes, incorporating that into their channel. If that's the kind of channel they run. Well, let's spin the camera back around, shall we? And hope that I am back in the frame that I was supposed to be. No, we're not doing upskirt shots today. You shush. Shush. Whoever needed to be shushed. Where's Hello Kate? Alright. There they are. I'm not centered with my posters the way I was before. Oh well. See, that's what happens, right? This is a human channel. One-woman crew. Very little production value. Right? But I'm a human offering a human experience for other humans. Unlike the software-generated shit that a lot of people are consuming right now. And I think you need to ask yourself, and I've done this too, I'm not trying to be on some high horse here, but you are what you consume, and that's not just food, that's also media. Other sensory inputs. So if video only exists for money, and for clicks, ad revenue, to boost metrics, you know, for example, those reaction videos, which is just a very polite way of saying, we stole this video, and I put myself in a little thumbnail in the corner as I just watch, react to it. And, I'll have a feed of my chat just going nonsensically crazy, and no one can ever actually keep up with what's going on. Yeah. Real great contribution to art and culture there, pal. But it's different than a TV show or a movie where it's like, obviously money's on the table. That's when you have to make a judgment call. It's like, is this just a soulless cash-in, or is this something that, like, well, you know, money had to be involved because, you know, somebody had to build the sets, hire the actors, and compose the music, build the props, actual work, and a lot of physical material was involved. So, you know, money has to play a factor, right? That's different. But, you know, these cheap-ass videos that are just filling most of the internet, you really need to stop and ask yourself, like, would this exist if there was no money on the table? If the answer is no, you should probably second-guess why you're watching it. Again, question what you're taking on board, because you are what you consume. Okay, Pumpkin? But my frustrations aside with YouTube, and regardless of what direction the great diversification of summer of 2026 has in store. For those of you who are here and have stuck with me and watched the videos and comment, I want to leave you with this.